Hey, Codeweaver back here. I decided to spend a little time playing Nova Drift. So this will be I guess the second or third stream today. I don't have any particular schedule because apparently I don't do those things. Ha! Truth be known, I just wanted to play a game of Nova Drift on my PC here. I noticed it's not as far along as my laptop version of this because the game state is apparently not shared. And I decided, what the heck? Let's start this completely from scratch. And the minute I did that, I decided, what the heck? Let's just stream the silly thing. So I've already got Nova Drift running. Let's just pop over to it. Now, if you're not familiar with Nova Drift, there we go. If you're not familiar with Nova Drift, it is I guess you could call it a bullet spam game, an asteroids-like shooter with spaceships, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So, got a whole bunch of unlocks here. We haven't unlocked nearly anything in this particular build. And you can see what all the base gear is and what the mod trees are. You can basically put together all sorts of complicated builds for your ships. Yeah, some of them are interesting, some of them are effective, some of them are both. I've got some go-to standards just when I want to blow off steam. Sometimes I try slightly odder builds. If you want to see a stream on YouTube, a crew called Ultra C does absolutely fantastic builds from the effective to the bizarre. I am not that good. They do it as a duo. They're quite the team. I love them to bits. They're a great stream. Go check them out as well. I don't think they're on Twitch. I could be wrong, but I do know they're on YouTube. They plan out their builds a lot more than I'm going to. So anyway, lots and lots of combinations, great replay value, and it's basically just a bullet spam game. And I say just in the sense that it doesn't pretend to be much else, but it's also extremely polished with incredible amounts of variety. And I know that they're working on both up and coming a new set of major enemies, which I will be going into blind. I guess I might as well share that with you when that comes about. And I think they're also working on a story mode so that you can go through a sort of a de facto story, which they do not have here at the present, and that's okay. Let's just start right out. So we don't have the ability to unlock any of these. It's been a long time since I played with all of these off. We are, however, going to turn on wild meta. Let me see. We've got practice, endless. After the final battle, the game contains until you're destroyed. And there is no way to stop that. We are going to turn on Wild Metamorphosis. You'll encounter strange and unpredictable mods. Starting rerolls are halved, so a roguelite experience. All this does is turn on, aside from what it says here, it turns on a bunch of unpredictable mods, which I love. It just adds even more variety. So let's just go and do that, because why not? You don't have to play with them on. Got to figure out my key controls on this. It's slightly different than my laptop. I have discovered an oddity. My keyboard does not like it when the cursor controls, when two of them are used, thrust and turning, along with my spacebar for shooting. One of the keys just locks up, I think the turning key, and I don't know why. I mean, I know keyboards have occasionally wired keys together in such a way internally as to not allow certain key combinations, and that's just a weird one for me, so I had to reconfigure my keys for doing it here live for you, because I'm not doing that on my laptop. Ready to upgrade. So where is my upgrade key? That is, I'm gonna maybe switch that over to what did I normally have it on? I guess I had it on backslash, except backslash is different on this keyboard relative to, I'm using the numpad for steering. Okay, I'm gonna have to remember that. I wonder if I can change it mid-game. Anyway, first thing that we get to do is choose our major gear. Now we go from that really, really simple weapon, which is a legitimate weapon in its own right, but once you leave it, you can't get it back again, onto one of these sort of interesting variational weapons. I can re-roll in order to try to find weapons that I like more. But I'll go with, of these, I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with basic split shot. So let's see what this gets me. So this gets me this triple shooter, which is lots and pretty. Great for the little guys, especially as I don't have any tracking or aim on these bullets right now. Alright. Now, as for shield, I can go with a shield that does a reflect power, a shield that does a warp power, and a shield that does a halo of fire. These all have different advantages. You can see that the cooldown, which is the time, so they can refresh if they take no damage during the cooldown period. So there's a period after the shields pop where you have to wait for your shield to come back, and so some of these are going to be faster than others. Some of them have a greater or lesser maximum shield. I haven't done reflect in a while, so I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm not likely to be very good at it, but let's find out. You can do enough upgrades and weirdness to your ship that even your shield can become a weapon or some super defensive kind of crazy stuff. There's no way for me to explain or explore more than a small handful of the combinations. You can see that I'm flying around and I'm picking up little XP baubles that give me basically the ability to do this and upgrade. So the final primary upgrade is a body. So I'm not going to go with cloaking because that requires a lot of careful management. Firefly's fun because it goes with blazing thrusters. Oh boy, I would like more options. I tend to like my engineer build, which I'm not going to get this time around. So let's go with... So of these, Assault has the least body, but it actually has a boost to your weaponry. I like the Blazing... I'm going to go with Body Firefly. Blazing thrusters burn targets. Thrusters ignite targets for 120 burning damage per second. Modifiers to thrust also affect thruster size. We have resistance to self-damage and crash damage. Sure, why not? Let's go with this. So, now you can see that I got glowy bits out the side of my ship. So if I run past these guys, I can basically light them on fire. I'm going to try to make those larger, make them as impressive as I can. So, Wild Mod, only available if you have Wild Mods turned on. Recursive means you can take it more than once. Grants increased burn damage and flat weapon damage at the cost of constantly taking burn damage. So, if I take this, I'm going to be continuously hurt. The best way to take this is possibly later in the game. Once you intending to go for this, you get mods that that increase your regeneration rate. I'm not very good with Solar Heart, but we're certainly not going to take it now. Improved thrusters. Let's go with that. So that'll give us basically broader burn on the thrust. So, oops, wrong keys. That's a little bit better. You can see them burning away, and they take continuous burn damage. Ooh, that's a nice plume. All right. Problem is, I obviously have to get really, really close for that to be effective. And actually, if I'm going to do that, the reflex shield was not the best one to take. What I should have done is gotten one of the Bernie shields, but now you can change primary gear afterward. It uses up one of your upgrades to do so, so there are strategies you can do to switch weapons when a weapon is, say, weak early on, but you still want it later. Let's go with targeting. This level of targeting is pretty good because it doesn't reduce any of my attacks, but it does get more of the bullets to where they're supposed to be. And when the weapon is weaker, that is not a bad situation to be in. There's a few more of these are going to hit. you'll actually notice them bending a little bit towards the target. It's not great. It's actually better on slower weapons, arguably. So he's crossed the screen pretty quick. But anything which increases the likelihood of impacting an enemy instead of going off screen means it's not sort of wasted ammo. Alright, let's check this out. Now if I go to the next level, I lose projectile velocity and rate of fire, but it really seriously improves the targeting. And the advantage of that is, again, more of the bullets will actually find home. Yeah, let's do that. So now you can see that they're turning somewhat seriously here, but they are taking a little bit longer to get across the screen, so there are trade-offs here. There are additional levels of targeting, which I may take. Can I scooch by you? And yes, there we go. Got some fire going. All right. Right, so catch a few guys on fire. Let's see what else we do. Now, if I go to this, convergence, extra projectiles, but the velocity goes way down, and rate of fire, and total projectile size, which is effectively damage. So this would be really great on maybe on something where I have an outrageous amount of bullets, maybe, and I want to make sure that more of them find home. I think I'm going to not get this one. It also increases projectile spread, so as long as, yeah, so it just basically widens the amount of bullets, widens the exit path of the bullets, which is a problem. Instead, homing strike. I attack with a single weapon projectile from each of my broadsides. Homing strike projectiles are weaker but have greatly improved projectile targeting. I'm going to take that because that has no penalties. But it will still give me a little bit of extra firing power. And those sideways bullets have some nice tracking features. So as I'm passing by enemies, I'll be able to get a few hits in on them. So that's nice. Those are mines, so they explode once you get once they take enough damage or spend enough time near you. So that's a bit of a problem. The spiky things. All right. Okay, so what can I do here? It's a pretty basic build. What am I gonna do? So, I'm not really doing an engineer build or something that I want to add engineering features, but the turret would be a nice option. Rampage grants increased damage and maximum hull and maximum shields, but at the cost of always thrusting. So this basically you can't stop, which is arguably a bit of a problem. 3% maximum hull and shield, 7% global damage. So if you took this, you'd probably want to take more than one of them because 7% isn't much, but 3 of these at 21%, that'd be pretty serious. But then I would be constantly thrusting, which is not really my thing right now. So could combine this with mines, but let's just make this a really basic build. I'll try to capitalize on the specialty features that I have going on here. So I'm going to be trying to move fairly fast often in order to be able to make use of this fire, the fire fins of the Firefly build. But the practical implication of that is I probably want to look for mods that capitalize on increased speed. So what else can we do here? Rapid Fire and Splinter. Okay, so I like Splinter because it basically does exactly what it says on the tin, which is to, when the bullets hit a largish object, smaller bullets come off it. And there's going to be a few boss situations where I'm taking on bigger things, and while I'm hitting it, it wouldn't be a bad thing if I also did some damage to other enemies around me. One of the bigger problems to consider, aside from balancing your combat and defense, your attack and defense, is how well you can clear a level, because if you wait around too long, the waves actually start stacking. A lot of the times you can't wait forever. What can we do here? We're not going to do charge shot. That enables us to sort of power up the shot and release it, and for this kind of build, that's no good. So, smaller, faster, at the target of cost of maximum hull. So this gives us way more thrust. We're tinier, which means it's harder for anybody to hit us, but we're a bit weaker. And we do less crash damage, but I'm not trying to do crash damage. And the additional thrust is good for those fins. So we're going to try that and see where that gets us. You can see those fins coming out the sides. They're pretty deadly as long as I'm moving pretty quick. But I got to be careful not to actually hit anything. Alright. Okay, upgrade to... We're not doing convergence. Now, I'm going to go with lots and lots of bullets on my side. So, how do I want to do this? Got to start thinking a bit defensively eventually, but... Alright, volley it is. So now you can see we're getting a few more bullets out. Oh, that hurt. Alright. Some of these things that increase the number of bullets we have the downside of also weakening the bullets, so there is that problem. However, because I have these guys seeking, I think the number of times I'm actually getting a bullet impacting is probably countering that at least a little bit. The Ultra C guys are absolutely amazing for being able to analyze and put together how much effect stuff has, so that would not be me. I'm playing a fairly straightforward and intuitive version of this game. We're going to go with magnitude, we're going to go with payload because that delivers more damage, more blast radius. The rate of fire goes down, but the extra weapon damage is easily worth it. So, here we go. This guy, we have to take out these nubs in the middle. You can see I'm getting a lot of damage off of the... wow, took him out entirely. A lot of damage off of the reflect there. Alright, so... a couple things we can do. Deadly Wake. If I'm moving fast, this is going to leave a trail behind that burns. That's kind of cool. Your thrusters leave behind a trail. Well, I mean, we want a lot of these, so we're just gonna have to slowly build it up. Deadly Wake it is. Let's leave a trail of Bernie death behind us, because as we're passing by things, additional damage that we do to nearby targets is not a bad thing. Things that cross our path, or more importantly, choose to chase us, because at least some of these denizens will chase after us. I'm gonna be really careful when I make those high-speed flybys. They're great for imposing fire damage, but I am not good at doing crash damage, and of course, crash damage hurts me. So, blink. I don't often get blink. That would get us to possibly being able to get the screen wrap power for our bullets. That could be fun. Let's do that. Blink has the advantage that we can now do this, ba-doink, when we get into trouble, and I am going to totally forget that I have that power. These mines are kind of deadly because those little bits of shrapnel can seriously punch a hole in us. Okay. Let's get the shield effect. Okay, so shield effect radius increases the power, and affects secondary shields and effects. So far, this is net positive all around. And we've got to start working on defense, because it's going to start to get really, really ugly. So, let's do that. Well, these guys are pretty tough, but not super tough. And if you don't collect the XP in time, it does expire, so you at least have to be somewhat sensitive to the order in which you kill things, and being able to get over to XP that's just sort of hanging out, lingering. Don't want charge shot. Shield durability is always good. These are both extremely valuable. Regeneration is good as well. Yeah, let's go with regeneration. That's a good thing. Let's zoom by these guys and do a lot of fire damage. Alright. Ooh, bounced off him. That was not a good flyby. But I'll take the damage it imparts. Alright, flip over to the other side of the screen here. This guy's tough because all the things that impact him spike off those tendrils of energy, which then impact you, and that's a bad thing. This increases, so this decreases the shield effect radius, but actually gives us better shield effect power. Now this is all about the reflect power. I want to make my shields as strong as possible so that it's constantly up, so it does reflect damage back on attackers. So let's do that actually. Let's, because I don't really care how big it is. I just want to make sure that it's got decent power to it. The ultimate radius of this is not as important as being able to, for me, I think, as being able to reflect as much power back as I possibly can. Although my shield not being up right now is a bit of a problem. I have to wait for it to come back. Might just want to not fire at him for a second. There we go. Another thing that's a bit of a problem is that my shots get weaker as they go further away from me. Oh, see, I got a shot fired back on him, so that feels pretty good. This is not a totally normal build for me, so I'm having to be a little bit careful. Oh god, oh god, oh god, gotta get out of that ball of energy. Okay, that was a little bit frightening. Hey, here's our first encounter with something really bad. It's the black hole, the so-called singularity. And that means it's going to eat up the ship and all the XP that would go with it, but it could also eat me up. And while it's not necessarily instant death, it does you a lot of damage, and you can escape from it once you're in it, but it's really, really hard. And it's often better to just let it carry you away to another part of the universe and everything starts over. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you'll see what happens the next time I get trapped in one of those. Basically, if you stay in there for too long, it teleports you somewhere else, along with most of the denizens, but it basically gives you a moment to restart. Now, can I get in here? Kinda. I did light him on fire, but at the cost of being punted around a bit. So there's a singularity. They can come on their own. They definitely come when this particular enemy shows up. And it does pull you in, and so I want to be really, really careful and not get pulled in. Alright, weaponized shields. Adds a weaponized shield effect and deals more damage to targets inside its radius. Well, I shrunk it. And I don't expect the, enemies to get inside my radius, so that's not so useful to me, I don't think. Regenerative shields add passive shield regeneration and reduces hull generation when shields are up. So, this will help my shields regenerate faster, and I think it's what I want because I'm kind of shield focused more than hull focused. So I'm going to take a gamble and get that. I don't often get it, but keep reaching for my cursor keys instead of my numpad keys. That's extremely irritating because of that key configuration I mentioned. Whoa, whoa! I bounced around a little bit. I did set him on fire, but that was extremely dangerous. You can't take out his satellite drones directly, so just want to stay out of his path for the moment. His summoned singularity goes away. Oh god, that was bad, but I did manage to light him on fire, which can't hurt. I've got to take him out faster. This is going to become a problem. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Nope, that was bad. That was extremely bad. I hurt a lot. I got caught in his path. If I wait too long, I'm going to end up with a lot of waves of enemies actually coming in addition to him, and that's kind of a problem. Because I don't want to have to deal with other waves. Whoa! Oh wait, I'm going to let myself get sucked in. I get spit back out. The singularity's gone, but I have to let a lot of stuff regenerate now. Alright. I'm going to want some weapon velocity and possibly sniper power, because my shots are getting too weak close in. There we go. I managed to take him out. I should be using my blink. I told you I'd forget about it. I'm not used to using blink. Mostly I got it because one of the super powered mods I can get allows bullet wrap, which would be actually kind of hilarious on this build. Hopefully I'll see it at some point. I don't remember how to get it, but so radiant shields, really big effect radius, slower shield cooldown, and maximum shields. Now I'm not going for a shield that requires a big radius. I'm going to not get that one. Rapid fire or focus. I'm gonna go with focus fire. Narrows the shots, but I've already got really tight. Sorry, I got really good tracking. So go with. All right, target takes more global damage the more damaged you are, up to 50%. That could actually be useful. This averages proportions of both your hull and your shields. I'm going to go with this one because it's... The other one is likely, I think, to show up more frequently. Alright. Oh, and I have just killed myself. Because I flew right into the bullet spam. However, what this has done is unlocked a whole bunch of stuff, and that's not a bad thing. So I've got an ally, which I did not have before. I like the ally. I like stuff where I have autonomous allies running around. So that's pretty cool. So we are going to throw ourselves right back in here. Enemy cargo trains unlocked. Enemy cargo trains now appear along your journey. Cargo trains can be destroyed to release cargo crates. I'd forgotten I don't have those. Weapon gear unlocked. Salvo. Body gear unlocked. Hull breaker. We'll see some of these. Hyper boost power unlocked. The orbs can now drop from cargo train crates. They grant more acceleration, fire rate, and regeneration. Challenge mode, danger zone. Waves advance faster. Enemies enter the fray more frequently. Enable the game loadout. Alright. So, we'll do that for my tag for this. Not a great high score, but whatever. So, I got a bunch of unlocks. Let's start again. We are going to turn on danger zone because why not? See how fast we can unlock some of this stuff. So, that's basically the game in a nutshell, except that this time round, because I'm starting again, I'm going to go straight into some other kind of weapon configuration. We'll see what happens. Alright, what can we get? Let's go with Flak is sort of short range. Deadly burst of shrapnel that shreds close range targets. It's really pretty good, especially if you spend some time extending its range and focusing it. It becomes quite the cannon. But just for something like really different than the last one, I'm going to go with grenade. This is a pretty cool one to go with. So here's what happens when you use grenade. We launch a grenade and kaboom, right? Which means at least initially you have to be pretty accurate with where you fire. But it has a lot of splash damage, so it's if your targeting is pretty good. Take out a few enemies at once, like hopefully this. Alright. A couple more kabooms. If you're in motion when you fire this, obviously you have to be a little bit careful to correct for the fact that your ship's moving. Right. So, amongst the shields we have available, Temporal slows down its enemies. That's kind of cool. I'm going to go with Shockwave, a shield that releases waves that ebb and flow, pushing enemies and projectiles, releases a forceful wave. So let's do Shockwave. So, Now, some of the benefits of Shockwave are only apparent when the shield breaks. And so I'm going to want, actually, to do something a little odd. I'm going to create a fragile shield, which protects me a little bit, but ultimately, eventually, it gets destroyed. Ooh, we can take an engineer. Okay, so this will help a little bit with wave clear. So I'm going to take an engineer, and that makes me able to build constructs. And those are basically little helper ships. So we're going to have something where I can fire sort of punchy shots, which I'm going to make more and more powerful. However, that's going to be hard to clear large waves of like these little tiny guys. It doesn't matter how good I am at firing the cannon. It's kind of troublesome to take care of those. So, all right, so here's my options. This is a good one to take early because it causes an extra recursive wild mod you take to be taken 3 times instead of 1. So that basically ultimately gets us 3 of a particular thing. We don't have to hunt for it. And on top of that, it gets us basically 1 extra instance for free. And it's rare enough that I'm going to take it now. I'm not sure what wild mod I'm going to use it on. If I don't select a wild mod, this doesn't get activated. So I'm going to take this. It's sort of future-proofing my ship a little bit, or at least future-proofing my choices. And let's see what we got. No wild mods I want to take, but we're going to start making this thing kind of big boomy, so we're going to go with magnitude, although we do want something to help defend us. It's either drones or the bigger allies. The difference is the little drones are basically just little pea shooters, but you can get quite a few of them. The advantage to the bigger allies is in principle, although I haven't unlocked this yet, in principle we could get them to like do funkier things like fire our own weapon, and they basically can operate independently, whereas the drones don't initially operate independently. They basically just hover around me. So here's the thing. With this craft, I'm going to have a hard... With this weapon, I'm going to have a hard time taking out the little guys. So the Shockwave is a good way to push guys back and also do a little damage. These little guys can act as a sort of a surrogate shield because physical things that try to impact me will hit them first. So I'm actually going to go with that, and I'm going to start manufacturing these things. I'll see how far with my limited unlocks that I can upgrade this. You can see them being built. By default, you don't have to deploy these guys manually, except in a specific circumstance, which doesn't arise for me at the moment. I could get 2 kinds of constructs, but I really only want to spend time doing 1 upgrade path. Mines are another construct. They're a lot of fun. I'm gonna stick with the 1 construct, and I'm going to start making it as nasty. Drone specialist increases drone construct limit and assembly speed, but reduces assembly speed for other constructs. So this particular chain of wild mods is good to take when you're going to only take 1 drone, or don't mind the other ones not taking a while to build. So, and it's really rare to get, so I'm going to get it right now. Right, those are the supply chains. Those little snaky things going across the screen. We're going to spend some time upgrading the drones, because the more they help me out, the more I can spend time targeting. Uh-oh. So I don't fire terribly fast, but my drones are definitely helping me out when they're not busy doing other stuff. They're actually pretty deadly. I'm going with this. All right. Yeah, let's make them super tough. Let's make my drones super tough. This is a bit closer to one of my more traditional builds. So I'm at least somewhat confident I can make this work for me. But a lot of stuff is locked off for me, so we'll have to see where this build goes, given I started this absolutely as clean as I could, I think. I'm not playing blind, but I am playing clean. So, among the things I want to get, this converts my drone into assault drones, bigger rate of fire, more drones available, enables further offensive upgrades, but it locks off defensive drones. And defensive drones target hazards, and I think that incorporates both missiles and rocks, so it can be really handy when you want to be purely defensive. I'm going to go with assault drones, because why not? Yeah, look at the crazy number of drones I got going on here. So they can actually do some pretty serious damage to some of the weaker enemies. So here we go. Now, among these, I have a couple of formations showing up here. I don't tend to use formations too much. But when I do, the one that I like using is Pursuit, because if I'm in a situation where I can be alone for a little while, but I really want my guys to not be hovering around me, and the reason I can do this is because I want them to be in a, because I'm being seriously targeted, and I want them to go and pea shoot from some other location. That's pretty cool. I don't get to control them. But the biggest advantage is ultimately that it enables me to unlock Fleet, which I really, really do want. So we're going to go with Formation Pursuit because I want Fleet. Firing my cannonballs everywhere, trying to make every shot count. There it is. We're getting Fleet. So that will give us an enormous number of, well, kind of enormous. That's pretty enormous. It's a lot of extra firepower. Especially because they're better shots than I am. Especially good on the smaller stuff. Alright. Although I suppose they all tend to shoot at one target, I think. So that's potentially not as good as you might think. But anyway, I'm going to keep them anyway. Makes drones fire rockets instead of bullets. What are the advantages? Instead of bullets, drones fire accelerating rockets, gaining a larger blast radius. More drone damage, but less rate of fire. I know a lot of people don't think this is a great one. I like it because of the blast damage, because my biggest thing for having these guys is not to attack a single target. It's to basically take out, or help take out the waves, and extra blast damage helps. So here we go. We are going to get rockets. Granted, the splash damage isn't very large right now. Again, if you really want to see people fiddle around with crazy and exotic builds, maximize the numbers, or just go for silly builds because it's fun, go check out Ultra C. That pair is absolutely brilliant. They're a lot of fun. They have great chemistry too. They're fantastic gaming stream. Like I said, I don't think they're on Twitch, but a fantastic gaming stream. Okay, so we're gonna need to start getting defensive eventually, but I'm doing actually pretty well here. So let's increase our blast radius. I really wish I had that split shot from the last run. I mean, this will be good. Oh look, they're not all attacking the same target. Actually, that's really handy. We just target nearest enemy, which is not the greatest strategy in the world, but it's not bad. So high explosive, greatly increase the blast radius. We're going to do that too. That's mostly to help clear levels. It doesn't necessarily give a lot of extra damage to a single enemy. But the biggest problem with the cannon is the fact that it's really hard to make it effective against waves. Or at least it's hard for me. I just lose that XP. That makes me unhappy. Okie dokie. Let's fire a couple more of these. Okay, so what can we do here? Rupture is good. Cause enemies to be ruptured when destroyed, dealing blast damage. So extend sort of that blast thing so that it can daisy chain maybe a little bit into other enemies. Don't really want triple shot. The reason is it makes them individually slower. Now that could help you clear out waves. But what I think I'm going to go to is charged shot, and that's not along this path. You can go down the situation of triple shot and then making the inner shot really, really powerful, and then maybe going for focus fire array. We can come back to that decision, but rapid fire, definitely a good idea. I guess the trade-off here is, do you want one really big shot, or do you want a bunch of smaller shots? And that's a good question. It's a very good question. It kind of depends on the build you want to do, and you can totally make either build work. I'm not decided quite yet. Okay, greatly reduces blast radius, but it increases the damage. That's a tough one. The blast radius goes down, blast damage goes up. Not sure. Burst fire lets out 3 all at once, but the problem with that one is that it adds a delay between firing, and it's already a slow firing item. Although what that does mean is I could blanket an area with, like, carpet bomb an area quite nicely. I'm going to go with targeting, and the reason I'm going to do that is because, oh god, missing with a shot with this weapon is really, really bad. So adding a little bit of curve is, and you can see some of that explosive power got going on here. Oh, so nice. Adding a little bit of curve to the shots doesn't hurt, but if I go with guidance, the projectile velocity goes... this is not a fast-moving weapon, and that is a kind of crippling, so I'm not going to go with that. Well, we're apparently going heavy artillery this time, as opposed to blanketing an area. See, that's what happens when you miss. So, Warpath grants a stacking buff to rate of fire and speed when you kill enemies. So you might be able to get total rate of fire and thrust for each stack up to 30%. Gain a war stack whenever you defeat an enemy. Stacks diminish quickly over time. That's not a bad idea. Sure, let's go with Warpath. Anything that increases our rate of fire, I think, is a pretty good thing. One thing you could do is sort of turning this into a carpet fire weapon, as it does help take out those little tiny proximity mines quite nicely. Alright, so we got some good stuff going on. Ooh, look, there's Splinter. Instantly taking that for this, because while I may not take, like, triple shot, it does do that Jubilee effect. Now, I think that might have weakened my individual shots, but I'll compensate for that elsewhere. It basically means while I'm focused on attacking one major enemy, I'm also doing a lot of splash damage to stuff in the vicinity, which can kind of help take care of these guys a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to sneak inside his radius, and he pops. We're good. Okay, here's the one I was after, Charged Shot. So this basically, instead of doing rapid fire shots, the rate of fire helps charge it up, and that I can fire a really big bullet, but less often. But since I'm not firing very often anyway, this should actually give me a bigger boost when I need it. So we are totally taking Charged Shot, because it's just fun. It is interesting to note, though, that if you think that the best way to survive this game is universally just have to have the biggest weapon possible, that's just not true, because there's going to be a point at which my lack of defenses are going to bite me in the behind. I know it doesn't look that way given what I just did, but... Oh, totally missed. Alright. Problem because there's a lot of enemies here with a lot of potential XP, and I just can't get to all of them that easily. Actually, I did pretty well there, all things considered, but with a charged shot, it's even more important to make sure that you hit something of value, because it's going to be a while until you can fire the next shot. We've got a real Jubilee build going on here. Alright. Homing Strike is, again, pretty good because it's really no disadvantage, except for a little bit more projectile spread, but I now have this really handy side shot going on, and oh god, I don't want to be here. The Comet is really nasty. It hurts bad guys as well as good guys, but when it hits you, boy does it, it takes a big punch off of you, and... Alright, I got a good build here. It's a pretty good sort of sniper-based build where, you know, one shot, one kill, and even has a little bit of multi-kill in it. Now, I think, so when I got that, so this guy, the Splinter, the rate of fire went down, so that's bad. It didn't seem to do me any other harm, though, so... 30%, minus 30% thrust while charging, by the way, on that one. And I still haven't activated my wild mod that gets me 3 wild mods instead of 1, so I'll have to keep a lookout for one that I actually like. Don't think I want guidance. Convergence might be a possibility, because I've gone down this path already. If I find convergence, that gives me more projectiles, a little bit less projectile velocity, rate of fire and projectile size, and more spread. No. Well, maybe. The spread I don't really care about necessarily, except I'm kind of in the mode of doing a sniper build, so I kind of want to like be able to hit the thing I'm aiming at, and that variability in launch direction could be a problem. All right, time to start working on defenses. I have this Shockwave, so I don't actually want durability because I want the shield to actually drop every so often. What I really want is hull and have my shield pop quickly and then come back quickly. So we're going to re-roll. That hasn't given us any more shields, but it has given us velocity, which could help. Burst fire, we get a 20% rate of fire increase, a 3-round burst, and plus 0.04 seconds flat rate of fire delay between bursts. You know what? I'm going to take it because it's not a major disadvantage. It does fire 3 shots, but it doesn't decrease my the damage of those individual shots, I don't think. Shield durability. No. Shield effect radius is going to be good at this point. As is payload. I'm gonna go with payload because it's less likely to yeah, if I get shield effect radius and I got more items in the pool, I'm gonna go with payload. These things only come up as often as they sort of statistically can. So managing what items are available to be selected can increase that something's available when you want it. Now take a look. I'm firing 3 shots. So there's a couple of major advantages here. If I spin a little bit as I fire, oh god, I can actually launch them in different directions, which can be an advantage, but I don't really lose the impact of multiple shots hitting a single target if I want. So it's actually really nice, but it does add a little bit of a delay to the firing. and that is a problem. So, hull strength. We're definitely going hull strength. I also may want improved thrusters at some point. And the reason for that is because my thrust is down when I'm doing the charged shot. Oh, let's go with that first. Yeah, you can see I'm actually, so I'm going to fire, and now I'm going to try to charge again, but nothing's happening, and the reason for that is that delay. So it's not, it doesn't seem like a long delay, but it's a bit problematic when, oh god, it's a bit problematic when you're trying to deal with waves again. Okay. He's usually pretty nasty, actually, so I'm glad that I managed to get rid of him in one go. I'm actually kind of shocked it worked out that well. I've actually got a pretty powerful weapon going on here. Mind you, because I've started up this game from scratch, the enemies are not as strong as I'm used to, so I'm a little bit being deluded into thinking this build is as good as I think it is. It's actually pretty good given that I know how to play this game. You charge up, spin a little bit, get a few extra bullets out in different directions. Another way to carpet bomb things takes a little bit more effort than simply having a big spread, but it also means I got power when I need it, so. I didn't even get a shot off that time, that's a problem. So I could probably make the individual cannon shot a lot more powerful by not having gone down a lot of these roads, but to each their own design. Concentrated blast. Okay. Energized shields. Increase your shield effect power by your current speed. Now that would have been good for the other build where I had the Firefly body and speed was a major consideration. It's not necessarily for this build, and not I'll have to think about when I want to take that, but it's also a wild mod. If I took that, it increases your shield. Okay, so let's find out what this does. 5% faster shield cooldown. That could actually be a good thing. 7% rate of fire and minus 7% construct assembly speed. Now, I like my constructs to be able to build pretty fast, and if I took 3 of these, that would really slow down my constructs. I don't think I'm going to go with that. I don't want shield durability because I want it to pop faster. This is a fun one. Death Blossom causes you to rapidly fire your weapon projectiles in a 360-degree radial spread when your shield breaks. And that doesn't come from your existing firing limitations. So it's generally a win. It's kind of hard to get, so worth me picking up. Okay, I gotta look for a recursive mod that I really want. Wild Mod Discord causes orbs of discord to orbit you erratically and lash out at nearby enemies. That can be fun. And since I'm going to be getting a bunch of wild mods, that's actually really valuable. Recursive increases weapon damage and projectile size at the cost of projectile velocity and weapon recoil. Specifically, it would get me, if I picked it right now, 30% weapon damage and projectile size. 30% slower velocity, which I do not like. Minus 2% rate of fire. Adds weapon recoil. And so that's going to push me back as I fire forward. And although I get major punch, this would be better on something where that weapon velocity wasn't a serious problem. This already doesn't go very far. To get 30% less total projectile velocity might be really killer. I would have to look for things that would increase my weapon velocity, and there are 2 things I have yet to get, and that's the weapon velocity perk mod as well as the sniper. So, interesting thought. This could make my punching really, really heavy. But that rate of fire thing is really deadly. I don't need more rate of fire problems. That's a tough one. You know what? I don't normally get it. Let's get it. It's crazy. It's gonna kill me. But let's see what we can do. So, Smaller, faster, a target at the cost of maximum hull, maybe. Hull strength is definitely going to be an advantage. Shield effect radius for pushing things away. Okay, so this gives me shield effect radius and extra power, but that doesn't mean... that basically means it's power effects, not its livability. That's a durability thing. So this is actually good for me because it increases the abilities of my shield, but doesn't increase how long it lasts. So I'm going to get that. Oh, it's going to be nuts. Whoa, my God. Okay, that's deadly. I've got to find something that... Oh, my God. I forgot that I also had the triple shot. So this is going to punch me into things really, really hard. Okay. As long as I'm moving forward at the time I shoot... This is not a serious immediate problem, but I want to undo that effect as soon as I can, because that's rough. That is really rough. Lots of punch with it, though. Because I'm going to end up backing myself into a corner using this, I'm sure. Clears out everything on the screen, though, so that's going to be fun. Oh my God, that is completely bananas. Okay. Oh, that is really rough. I am totally gonna want to undo this because that's the kind of thing is gonna happen. Okay, it's bad. It's bad. This is really bad. I'm just gonna let myself get eaten and hopefully I don't get destroyed. No, except that's kind of bad. Okay, whoa. So the other problem with having it push me back as I fire is that the additional shots just end up being sort of left behind in the wake. I don't get to apply them to the actual target that I'm intending on hitting. And so that's going to be a problem. So let's see what we can do about that. Radiant shields. Greatly increases shield effect radius is the cost of maximum shields and shield cooldown. Now the shield cooldown is bad, but the effect radius is huge, and I actually want the maximum shields to go down, so I'm going to go with that. Oh my God. It's going to kill me. Oh, that's pretty, but that is hard to handle. I'm going to have to focus. That pulse, by the way, is kind of why I want my shield to pop a lot, because it helps push bad guys away. Oh God, I'm in the middle of bad. Okay, I have to look for something I can help. So weaponized shields actually matters more now, because at this point, with the bigness of my shield, more damage to stuff inside my radius is actually a good thing. Streamline, faster, smaller target. No, I'm going to need my health. I'm going to go with weaponized shields. Okay. This is going to be interesting because Buddy Boy here likes to fire these god-awfully evil lasers. I have no idea how I'm going to survive this. Oh my God, just because of the serious punchiness of the weapon, he will chase you all over creation with those laser death beams. Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna fire off a couple of those, and oh, that is serious damage. Serious damage to the enemy ships. I have got to find a way to mitigate that that effect, and I don't think I've unlocked the things that might enable me to do that. All right. I'm gonna need maximum hull strength. Yeah. exciting is not a word I like to use on this all the time. I can push back against that backward thrust, but I have to remember to do it. And boy, howdy, can it send me across the screen in a hurry. Oh, God. Okay, this is exciting. I am kind of mental. Okay, so... taking bullets to the face all over the place. Old enemy from the last game that I was having so much trouble with Firefly is apparently no longer an issue. Alright, so I have made this an extremely punchy ship. I'm not going to last that long, though, because my... well, I'm lasting longer than I thought I would, primarily because I'm having difficulty not running into things when I let loose with the big gun. So, let's see what we can do here. So, metabolism greatly increases regeneration cost. Nope, not after that. Tougher, larger, tougher, and slower. Maximum hull, better crash damage and knockback to targets. Crash knockback resistance. We decrease the size and drone orbit radius, and we decrease thrust. I need thrust to compensate for that kickback, so that's not going to happen. I don't want to double tap. That adds more burst fire. That's that triple shot, but and increases the rate of fire. Actually, that's interesting. I could conceivably get that, but not right now. Actually, no. The problem is I would increase the number of shots, which means it would push me back harder. So right now, I don't want that. Don't want durability. Velocity could... I'm already... yeah, I don't need velocity yet. Although that does lead into snipe. Actually, I do want... maybe I want snipe. Don't really need the weapon damage as such. Regeneration rate. Oh, God, I don't know what I picked. Did I pick a thing there? One of my shots. Oh God, I think I picked, gotta get control of myself here. Oh, I picked triple shot by accident. Okay, well, this build has changed a little bit. This has just got really difficult. So I accidentally hit the space bar when I was in there, so I automatically selected what was under the cursor at the time. I didn't realize I had another thing to select, so this just got really interesting. I don't necessarily have a whole lot of immediate forward punch on my bullets, but now I've got bullets absolutely all over the damn place. I'm going to have to check to see what I actually picked up. Okay, so fun times. Alright. So what I picked up was, yeah, triple shot. Okay, that's fun. What have we got here? Rapid reconstruction, regeneration rate eliminates your shield. I'm not eliminating my shield. Shield cooldown can be useful. Absorption, damage reduces plating. So extra plating. Plating reduces all damage taken by a flat value, provided protection against rapid light damage. Could be useful. It cannot reduce burn damage or self-damage. Okay. We also have Wild Mod Galvanic Outburst. Grants shield damage resistance and causes you to discharge a bolt of energy when you take a shield hit. Don't want shield durability. So, absorption it is. Okay, I now have the ability to literally light half the screen on fire, but it pushes me back like you would not believe. Okay, so... this is not the worst build I've ever built, but boy howdy, it takes a little... okay, so I want more of that kind of pulse, because that pulse buys me time. I'm less worried about the amount of damage it does, but it does buy me time. Okay, this is an exciting build. Did not expect to be doing this. Alright. Okay, we want more velocity on my shots. Force armor grants resistance to all damage, increases crash damage, gives it a blast radius. I'm not really worried about that. Focus fire reduces projectile spread. That could be useful. Velocity, though. I need to get more of my bullets out to their targets. Although that does, I think, increase kickback, which is an unanticipated problem. Holy cow, is that ever punchy. Alright. Oh, lots of damage to my shields. Really want my shields to come back. Sorry, I'm being more silent than normal on this build, but nobody's in chat. That's okay. So okay, what can we do here? Deadly weight causes your thrusters to leave behind a trail that burns and ignites targets. Potentially, calibrates your weapons when you're not firing. Calibrate reduces projectile spread, improves projectile targeting, and increases total velocity. So let's give that a go. Because I believe Calibrate is not affected by my charging, which is a thing that is useful. Okay. Trying to fire. Potentially useful for me to use this to escape local situations as long as I know what's happening on the other side of the screen, which I don't always. Okay. My god, this is brutal. It's like lifting an elephant and then suddenly finding that your ankle's a little bit wonky. Slightly frightening. This guy, the armored guy, chases after you with quite a fervor, and if he bumps into you, his sort of collision damage is quite brutal. Can we... Oh, we don't have... Oh god. Okay, so... Okay. Doing a lot of collisions here, which is not good for this build. Okay, what do we have here? Resistance to hull damage, crash damage, gives it a blast radius. We could actually go with that at this point. That might not be the stupidest idea I've ever had. Yeah, let's in fact do that, because I seem to be colliding with a lot of things. That kickback is really brutal. Oh god, no, there it is. I got trapped in that bullet line, and I just couldn't get out of it. So, yeah. Wow, that actually did a lot better than I thought it would. So, there is a mod somewhere in this that actually reduces knockback. And that would have been helpful to take once I started getting that, but I don't think I have it unlocked. So that was a pretty good build. I did not mind that build. A little bit crazy when I got the triple shot, although it didn't seem to add to my knockback all that much. But the thing that killed me was taking which one was it? It was this triple. The heavy caliber, taking three of them at once on that weapon was pretty brutal without having a way to necessarily counter it. That was a lot of fun. All right. Time is it? It is currently 6 o'clock my time. I think I'm going to go and find myself a little bite to eat. So I think this is going to be where I end up Nova Drift. I love this game quite a bit. It never ceases to provide a distraction when I need a distraction because the builds are so varied. I mean, I could have taken this and changed just one thing and went for more of a single cannonball attack, and then augmented it with different features that would enable it to, I don't know, do high seeking for that one big punchy. I don't know. There's lots of different ways I could have taken it. I could have done this without the drones and instead done mines. Or if I didn't have the engineer build, maybe I could have gone with like the stealth option and take one single punchy shot from stealth, do a lot of damage, and then sneak out. Lots of different ways to go with this. Replay is very, very high, and it's a very pretty and polished game, and it's only getting better. Try it out for yourself. So this is Codeweaver signing off from this particular run. It was a lot of fun. That's probably my last stream for today, but it's been great. I guess see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.